guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to make Chiffon Cupcakes with buttercream frosting. So first I already did my hair, put on my apron and washed my hands. So now I'm going to show you all the ingredients on how to make Chiffon Cupcakes. These are all the ingredients you need for the Chiffon Cupcakes. First you will need 2.5 cups of cake flour and it has to be sifted. 3 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 of sugar, 3/4 cup of cold water, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. You can also use corn oil, but I'm using vegetable oil. 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar. Another 3/4 of sugar. 7 eggs separated. Here are my ingredients for the buttercream frosting. Here's what you'll need. 2 cups of warm milk, 10 tablespoons of flour, 2 cups of sugar, 450 grams of unsalted butter, a pinch of salt, and 2.5 tablespoons of vanilla extract. Okay, now that I've wiped my bench, I'm going to separate the egg whites and the egg yolks into different bowls. This will be the egg whites and this will be the egg yolks. Let's get started. Okay, so now I'm going to mix in all the dry ingredients and then we'll put it in the egg yolk. So let's get started. So we're going to put our flour in. Next our sugar. Next our baking powder. And last but not least, our salt. Okay, so now we're going to mix in all the dry ingredients. Okay, so next you're going to grab your egg yolks and pour in all of the dry ingredients that you've mixed. Now you're going to put in your water, your oil, and your vanilla extract. Okay, so now you're going to use your hand mixer to mix this all in together. Put it on set 1. Okay, so before you make the meringue, you're going to have to preheat your oven. Okay, so now we can start the meringue. Beat until you see bubbles. Now we can put the cream of tartar, but you got to put it in the middle. Now beat. Okay, now sprinkle some sugar a little bit at a time. Continue till all the sugar is gone. Beat until the meringue is a hard pink. Okay, so to test the meringue, if it's a hard pink, we gotta go like this. You gotta flip it upside down. And it's good. So now we are done with our meringue. Okay, since now that I'm done with these both mixtures, I'm going to take a little bit from the meringue and put it into a batter. Okay, so now we're going to mix it in all together, but we're going to use the cut and fold technique. Okay, so now that we're done with this first batch of the meringue that we scooped out, we're gonna grab all of it and we're gonna pour it all in. Okay, so now since we all mixed this in, we're gonna do the cut and fold method again. Okay, so now that our mixture is ready, we're gonna go put them in the cake pots. Okay, so now that we're done putting our batter into the cupcake liners, we are now going to bang the tray against the counter so we can release all the air. Okay, so I got my mismatched oven mitts, but now we are going to grab these cupcakes and take them to the oven. It's very hot. Be careful. After your 45 minutes of your cupcakes being in the oven, we should take them out now and put them into the little metal tray. Now we're going to take them out. So now you're going to let these cool down on this wire rack. And I did wash my hands before this, don't worry. Okay, so now what you need for the buttercream is your sugar, your flour, and your warmed milk. And you will have a medium-sized saucepan on medium heat. Okay, so let's start. First, put your sugar. Now for your flour in. Mix in the flour and the sugar so the sugar and the flour can get toasted and it can have a nice flavour to it. So now you're going to need to put in your milk little bit by little bit so your buttercream won't have any lumps in it. Stir until you have a nice consistency of the rocks. Now that we have a desired consistency of our rocks, we are now going to put it in this bowl. Okay, so now that your rocks is done, you're going to put cling wrap over it and let it cool completely so the batter won't melt. Okay, so now that we're done with our rooks and it's finally cooled down, we're going to make the buttercream. We haven't made the buttercream just yet, but we're going to right now. First, we're going to beat the butter until creamy. Beat the butter for a couple of minutes and then we're going to add the rooks. wax until fully combined. Okay, so now that we're done mixing this in for a minute, we are now going to add our salt and our vanilla. Okay, so now that it's all added, we are now going to mix for 2 to 3 minutes so it's still enough to hold peaks. Okay, so now that we're done with our buttercream, your buttercream should look like this. It has a really nice taste to it. Anyways, we are now going to get a piping bag and pipe our buttercream into our cupcakes. Okay, so now we can start putting our buttercream into our cupcakes. Okay, so now that we're done piping all of our cupcakes, we are now going to wash our hands and wipe down our bench. Okay, so now that we're done with wiping down our bench and washing our hands, we are now got our little toppings. We've got some nice little toppings to place on top of our cupcakes. Let's start. Okay, so now that I'm done with all my toppings, I'm now putting them into the container ready for tomorrow. Hello